following content is brought to you by Social Inform Media.
The story comes to us from yahoo.com. Yahoo! And this is why you always film the police. If you see a police interaction and you have time to get out and record. I don't know, maybe I'm guilty sometimes of jumping to conclusions and I kind of go, oops. I think we all are. I think we all fall into this category. But when it comes to an incident that requires a complete, thorough investigation, they really do investigate their own, don't they? Like they make sure, okay, is he checked and balances. But when it comes to us, the non-law enforcement public, hey, that's what happened. Yippers, right to report. Well, that's what happened to this troop of cops, and the witnesses told a different story. Police have changed their description of a crash that killed a U.S. Representative Jackie Walorski of Indiana, saying Thursday that it was the SUV in which she was a passenger that crossed the state highway center line and caused the head-on collision. You say, okay. Well, Walorski and two members of her congressional staff died in the Wednesday afternoon crash in northern Indiana, along with the woman driving the other vehicle, according to Elkhart County Sheriff's Office. The department's initial account, was that the car driven by Edith Schmucker of Napanee, Indiana, I said it wrong, correct me. Edith Schmucker of Napanee, Indiana, crossed into the SUV's path. But the office released a statement Thursday saying investigators had talked with witnesses and viewed video evidence that their preliminary determination of which direction the vehicle is traveling was incorrect. So basically, to sum it, they said, okay, the car crossed the line, hit the Walorski's SUV, and then they talked to witnesses and viewed video footage and said, oh, Walorski's SUV crossed and hit Edith. And my point is here, maybe they should have talked to witnesses first before they wrote up the crash report. But it was this Indiana U.S. representative. Oh no, we're not gonna call her at fault. I'm gonna lose my job. The other lady was at fault. Yep, hit the representative. Then they talk to witnesses and they look at video footage and go, you know what, man, we gotta correct this. This ain't gonna fly. I don't know. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm just giving you a hypothetical. And it's based on actions and attitudes we've seen from law enforcement in the past. I mean, how many editorials have I done where a certain narrative was set and then a video comes out or the body cam footage is released and all of a sudden the narrative changes? Or a witness comes forward and the narrative changes. How many times have I done that? Dozens and dozens of times I've given you those stories. So it would not be unreasonable to think that they said this was Representative Walorski. Oh man, that car must have crossed and hit the SUV. She killed our representative. And then they talk to witnesses and look at video footage and go, oh no, it happened the other way. Investigators determined that the SUV driven by Zachary Potts of Mishawaka or Mishawaka. Take your pick. People from these towns hate me because they go, dude, you're killing me, man. It's in Indiana. Crossed the center line for unknown reasons in a rural area near the town of Wakarusa. Look, you guys are going to have to get some freaking good names like Redlands, San Bernardino, Highland, Fontana, Los Angeles, not Mishawaka, Wakarusa. What the hell? Potts was Walorski's district director and the Republican Party chairman for northern Indiana's St. Joseph County. Also killed was Emma Thompson of Washington, D.C., who was Walorski's communications director. That's all sad. What was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say, and it's possible maybe he fell asleep. You know, they drive all over. They work 16, 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day. Maybe he just fell asleep and just wandered. Walorski, who was 58, was first elected to represent northern Indiana's 2nd congressional district in 2012 and was seeking re-election this year to a 6th term in the solidly Republican district. So the 2nd congressional district of Indiana, as they're saying, is largely Republican. Yeah, a lot of the Midwest there is Republican, right? That's a big, huge Republican area. Walorski was a reliable Republican vote in Congress, including against accepting the Arizona and Pennsylvania electoral votes for President Biden following the Capitol insurrection. So, I don't know. Under Indiana law, it will be up to the local Republican officials to pick a candidate to replace Walorski, and it continues on. It goes down. I'll put the link description box below. But the gist of this one is that mainly the cops came up with this narrative. Oh, see, the car crossed, killed this U.S. representative, and they're going with that. Then they talk to some witnesses. They look at some video, and they go, oh, change that. Walorski's SUV crossed over. How many times have they done that? How many people are convicted falsely because cops just jump on it and go, that's the narrative? I mean, all of us make mistakes like that, but when you're doing an investigation and this person's life is in your hands, they either go to prison or they're the victim. How many people have gone to prison as the victim simply because the cops got it wrong? Because they didn't talk to witnesses. They didn't do their thing.